Deputies investigating another threat at one of our schools, and this time they say an 11-year-old is responsible.
They found a bunch of airsoft rifles, pistols, fake ammunition, knives, and even swords.
This is absolutely out of control, and it ends now. I'm going to show you every kid that's been arrested and where they go to school, and then from there on out, we're going to publicly shame them and their parents.
He was one of 2 students arrested just today, accused of making school threats.
Since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them.
He had written a list of names and targets. He says it was all a joke.
The suspect said it was all a joke.
They were joking.
But when in custody, he told deputies it was all a joke.
Your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I could do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid.
It sucks that they have no respect for life.
It's always so very fun for me when someone out there in the world uses airsoft to cause something so bombastically embarrassing like this. So if you didn't know, a couple weeks ago out of Volusia, Florida, the police there were facing the same weird crime over and over again in regards to threats about school shootings, which were all apparently jokes. Yeah, fucking pinnacle of humor. And it got to the point that Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood and his department were receiving over 50 threats a night. And then this story broke. Even a relative of mine who has a pretty high up position in law enforcement sent me this story with the message, "Dumbass airsofters." And my response was, so let's go ahead and take a look at the reports, look at what happened before and after, and collectively laugh at the stupidity. Because I promise you, nobody should feel bad for kids that haven't quite realized that making bullshit threats like this won't exactly win you a Nobel Prize.
A stockpile of weapons was found in a Port Orange student's room. The sheriff says there were various airsoft-style rifles, pistols, fake ammunition, knives, and even swords. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, a stockpile of weapons. Look at this fucking Timu stash.
Since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them. Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I could do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid so that everybody can see what your kid's up to. If I can any way find out that a parent knew what was going on and wasn't doing anything, your is getting perp walked with him. So parents, do your job. Don't let Sheriff Chitwood raise your kids. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood made this legendary speech just days before our domestic terrorist in question got himself arrested. And Mike did exactly what he said he would do.
Today, he arrested an 11-year-old for allegedly making threats, and he wants that boy's picture out there, even though he's a minor.
Days after that press conference, Chitwood posted a video on numerous social media platforms of officers perp walking an 11-year-old boy who made threats to shoot up his middle school and had written a list of names and targets.
I don't care how old they are. I want everybody to see them. I want everybody to know who they are. Here's what their charges are. Let the parents know that law enforcement isn't playing.
Can I buy Mike Chitwood a beer or a sweet tea or something? This man clearly doesn't give a fuck what any parent will think about this situation, and it shows. Like every Mr. Beast exposed video on YouTube lately.
54 and counting tips came into Fortify, Florida last night, okay? That means investigators in the school district have been running around the clock to investigate these tips, which are all turning out to be false.
54 school shooting threats a night. Some kids legitimately think this shit is funny.
Just yesterday, Chitwood posted another video as well as later sharing mugshots and names of officers perp walking 2 16 and 17-year-old kids who had also joked about shooting up their school on Snapchat.
It was all a joke.
They were joking.
It was all a joke.
Just a joke.
It was all a joke.
It was a joke.
Like it's something they're supposed to do as a rebellious, edgy teenager. I don't know, dude. When I was like 10 to 16 years old, I was doing shit like skateboarding, trying to play guitar to impress girls. I was watching shows like Ghost Adventures, Silent Library, Teen Titans, any slop that was on Court TV. These guys were the coolest people on the earth. And I wandered into abandoned buildings with my friends until the police warned us to go home. But somewhere in the past 15 years, something changed.
I want you guys to take a look at this photo that the sheriff's office shared with us.
It's pretty terrifying.
Does anyone notice the paw prints on the magazines?
According to the arrest affidavit, the student also had a kill list with several names, and the paper even appeared to have stab marks.
My child did nothing wrong. How dare you perp walk him? Ma'am, your child wrote a hit list. I mean, you're f***ing on it. And the neighbor's dog, too, for some reason.
Bus drivers on there, school nurses on there, several classmates are on there.
The tip came in through the Fortify app after the 11-year-old allegedly got on a group FaceTime call and showed all his friends his weapons. The guns look real, and at the time, the other students didn't know they were fake. The boy is now charged with a felony for making a written threat of a mass shooting.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Could you imagine right when they closed the cage, a bunch of wannabe speed softers just came out?
When questioned by deputies, the suspect said it was all a joke, but the sheriff reminds students and parents these threats are disrupting school and consuming law enforcement resources. Any student who makes a threat will face serious consequences. Parents will also be held accountable.
You know, I wonder if Light Yagami had that as a backup excuse if he ever got caught with a death note. Funny enough, several kids that I went to high school with had their own joke death notes. And whenever a teacher would find one of these, and it would always happen, there was a field day among the students and the faculty. And I'm not gonna bullshit you, a bunch of my friends wrote like exes' names, that one stuck-up girl that they actually really liked. But some of those Black Veil Brides kids, they were serious.
Go talk to the families who have lost a loved one in a school shooting. These little knuckleheads think it's funny. Go talk to those parents and see how funny this is. We're going to come and get you, and we're going to put you out for public embarrassment. And I know of a set of parents right now that they're looking at $11,000 each because somebody's paying this bill.
It's honestly pretty simple. Kids nowadays think this shit is funny, so I don't really care if you think this is overboard. Charge them, embarrass them, and then send their parents the multi-$1,000 check in the mail. And I watched a lot of the news reports and went through all the comments, and generally most people are totally cool with this.
So far, Sheriff Chitwood is getting good reviews from the community.
Parents are overwhelmingly supportive. It's the parents of the knuckleheads that are getting arrested that don't like the fact that public scrutiny is now going to be shifted to them.
On social media, there is both support for the sheriff's actions as well as concern. This is what needs to happen everywhere, says one. But another says, I hope the parents sue you for parading their 11-year-old around like this.
I hope they sue you then. I actually asked a few of my law expert friends, an attorney here, a lawyer there, you'd have no fucking case. And by the way, don't try to spin this shit that I'm trying to make a joke out of school shootings. I don't have kids, but I grew up in several different schools as I moved a lot around San Antonio and a dusty, hot-ass town called Poteet. I met my fair share of questionable kids that legitimately scared the shit out of me. I hate seeing stuff like this like any other rational person. I just really hate that this is yet another instance that bad faith politicians are going to use to fuck airsoft in the future. It's simple, dude. Just don't be a dipshit. Don't take your airsoft guns in the public or fucking threaten your school with them. And if you're not intelligent enough to not make threats with your wannabe doomsday arsenal, then please just block my channel already. This channel is completely useless to you, and I really can't help you. If you want kids to be disciplined, then bring them to the Philippines. Then after a few months, kids will respect their parents, elders, and people. The Philippines? Send your kids... Why the fucking Philippines? The Philippines.
You can go to hell.
Another comment was, they are toys. Not saying it's okay to threaten something like this, but it's airsoft guns. They're fake, and if this goes to court, that needs to be stated. I don't think that'll fucking matter, dude. Look, I can go take one of my airsoft guns. I can go take this big-ass MG42 to go rob a gas station. They're gonna treat me as if this thing is real.
It's fake! It's fake! Oh well, ours is real.
Like, a few states will even charge you with armed robbery if you do this and say you have a gun.
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office says the Creekside Middle School student threatened to commit a mass shooting at his school or Sands Middle School before he was arrested Monday morning.
I mean, honestly, I was just concerned. We got a lot of calls last week, but it just kind of hit home today.
The sheriff says he was driven to this extraordinary step of allowing a minor's face to be shown after a wave of threats from him and others made to schools in his county, 54 in all.
All of them?
have been deemed bogus.
Okay, so let's run this down. An 11-year-old with all of his mall ninja swords and his gas station quality airsoft guns that were most likely next to the boner pills and tobacco use only pipes had a filled up hit list, and only when local law enforcement got a hold of him was it all a joke. As if it was the shittiest era of YouTube ever again. It was just a prank, bro. By the way, I guess I'm alone here, but an 11-year-old having all of these blades just seems a little bit weird to me. Even my most hood-ass cousins growing up on the south side of San Antonio were scared to even have a steak knife hidden in their bedrooms. And I can already hear some of you guys. Come on, man. He's 11 years old. He doesn't know any better. Fuck you. So you're telling me if your 11-year-old got caught with a hit list filled with students, faculty, maybe even with your name in it, and got caught making an open threat against a couple middle schools, you'd be like, don't worry, champ. It's been a rough day for you. Get in the car, let's go get some McNuggets, and then let's go talk this out at the duck pond. How's that sound? I knew better than to pull this kind of shit well before I was 11 years old. Do you know what my Mexican mother would have done to me if I pulled shit like this?
Mira, cabrón, I know the camera's there. What's up? Yeah. But they can't hear me. Mira, when we get home, te va a dar un putazo. I can already feel it in my hand. I can feel it. I'm gonna come off the ground. I'm gonna hit you so hard. Don't run! Don't run! Come on. Mira, don't run! Move your hand! Move your hand!
Do you want to know what my dad would have done to me?
Hey y'all, Mop Top, home sweet home, the hood. All right, little fella. Say hello to your people for me.
Do you know what my older brothers would have done to me?
Don't do it, Jeff! Don't do it! I said time bomb from the balcony!
I definitely think that schools should teach students about the consequences of carrying, mishandling, and using firearms.
I am happy that after diving into the comments on so many of the news reports videos, not that many negative comments against Mike Chitwood or his police department. I mean, I'm sure Twitter has a lot to say about this situation, but that's Twitter. Fuck, I gotta go on Twitter, don't I? There are some parody accounts acting as if they're trying to sort some kind of justice for the kids. Or at least I think it's a parody account because this guy really wants f***ing Beyonce and Rihanna to help get the kid out of jail. Mike Chitwood is not some kind of monster either. Apparently a 15-year-old was arrested for making a bomb threat against his school over a game of Fortnite, but he didn't perp walk him, and some people pointed this out as some kind of hypocrisy. I think they might have missed the part where that 15-year-old has autism. I was expecting at least one or two reasonable arguments against perp walking kids threatening to shoot up their schools, but no. Follow me on Twitter though. Follow me on Twitter. I'm actually gonna send something to Mike Chitwood. Let's see if he responds to that. I did see someone say that they could have their entire careers ruined if their child was paraded around like Saddam Hussein. Gotta admit, I don't think anyone cares. Pay more attention to your child then. Okay, but what if the police arrest my child for a false allegation? Being fair, nothing like this will ever be foolproof. But if that happens, make a example of whoever does that so it never happens again. I would like to see how things go sometime next year to see if this kind of edgelord stuff slows down, but we can only wait and see and hope. But anyway, let me know what you think about this situation in the comments down below. And also let me know how your parents would have ripped your ass off if you ever did this when you were a kid. I'll be responding to as many comments as I possibly can. Join up on the USAirsoft subreddit and someone get Optimus to respond to this situation. I'm literally going to message him over Instagram and see what he says. Maybe he'll block me if I get lucky. Also subscribe to the channel. So many people have been stalking the USAirsoft channel lately, watching and never subscribing. So if you would like to see more videos like this one, then be sure to subscribe now. But until that next video drops from the city of San Antonio, Texas, this GoPro keeps overheating. This has been Scott Hollenbeck, and I will be sure to see you all next time. Done.